For more on this story, joining us live from Washington is Ivan Eland. He is a Senior Fellow and Director of the Centre on Peace and Liberty at the Independent Institute. Thanks so much for being with us, Ivan. So firstly, I'd like to get just your reflections on the past 100 days of Trump's second presidency.
Well, I think in your lead-in, they had the best name for it, a roller coaster. I mean, the tariffs go on, they get postponed, or at least some of them get postponed, some of them go on. And then we'll wait to see what happens, you know, when that 90 days is up. We've got immigration. They're doing a lot of things for show. Their immigration removal or migrant removal is below what Biden and other presidents have done, but they're making a show of it, and they're violating a lot of civil liberties doing it. In the same way with the tariffs, I think they're making a big deal out of it. And certainly there will be inflationary effects with it, and maybe a recession. But the initial figures were really, they're going to put 25% on everybody, or then the reciprocal tariffs. And now we see they're postponed. So I think they want to shock the system and try to negotiate with countries on that matter, and they want to show that they're detaining migrants and that sort of things. But I think a lot of it is he's a television president, and so he wants to make a splash, and he's certainly done that.
And Ivan, I think we've seen it's the record that Trump has been trumpeting is he's passed more than 100 executive orders. But this record doesn't really matter too much to Americans unless those orders they're seeing improvements to their lives in some way. And so far we've seen mass federal job cuts and crackdowns on freedom of speech. Do you think this, as he calls it, big, beautiful tax bill is going to win the American people over? Because, of course, the polls have dipped at the moment.
Well, people like tax cuts, but I think also people have a vague awareness that we're $37 trillion in debt, and you've got to start cutting. I'm all for tax cuts, but they need to cut the budget first. And they claim they're going to do that, but they're not going to be able to cut the budget enough to pay for the tax cuts. And the tariff is nonsense that the tariff's at $2 billion, a day. It only ends up to, over 700 billion a year. And of course, we have all this debt, and we have a big deficit on a yearly basis too. So I don't think there was that much, push for a tax cut among the people wanting it. There may be for big business and some of the lobbying groups, but I think the average person is concerned about the cost of living, and those types of tax cuts are going to fuel even more inflation, in addition to kicking migrants out who work here, raising the price of labor, and also the tariffs, which will raise prices. So he's got a 5-point plan for increasing stagflation, which is inflation plus a recession. But we'll see what happens. I mean, it's just crazy economics.
And on that, Ivan, you mentioned Trump saying that the tariff money that will start rolling in will offset the money he's spending to give Americans tax cuts. But of course, that tax bill still has to go through Congress. So isn't that a bit of a shaky plan?
Well, they say that they're going to cut some from Medicaid, but then a lot of the Republicans don't want to do that because it damages rural hospitals. There's other problems with a lot of the cuts. No one wants to say what the cuts are because no one likes to cut the budget. They like to cut taxes, and that's why we're so far in debt in the first place. And they don't seem to care about that because Trump has really never cared about the budget deficit or debt. So this DOGE thing was just creating a lot of chaos and not cutting very much, as we see. Probably not even 150 billion, because they have a lot of expenses in payouts, buy-offs to get people to quit and that sort of thing. So, Trump's, it was all for show again. And so I don't think there's going to be any meaningful budget cuts. And if there are, they're certainly not going to equal the tax cuts, which are going to increase the deficit, yearly deficit, and the accumulated debt over time.
Ivan Eland, Senior Fellow and Director of the Centre on Peace and Liberty at the Independent Institute. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.